Hi everyone. Well, we wanted to touch a subject that many uh, parents have been questioning is about having a kid after having a shortcut kid. How is it like, and is it doable? Is it not doable? And we just wanted to share our experience. We already have a 8-year-old, and he's healthy. Our second child is our daughter. She was born with short gut. Um, and 18 months after, we found out, no, it was like 12 months or like a year after she was born. We found
So,
out we were pregnant. And that was kind of a surprise. And we also were, in that boat, like, oh my gosh, how are we going to do it? Right? That's a big question. How are we going to be able to manage another kid uh, after having uh, our daughter with all these um, needs to take care of. So anyway, what do you think?
well, I have the easy role because I work full time and my wife is the one who stays home with the kids. Um, but I do try to help out as much as I can when I am at home and support her in the things that she does at home. We have private nursing that also is here in the daytime and at night that helps us out, and they are a tremendous help. We've been fortunate to find a very good agency that has good nurses and care providers that help out our daughter and my wife during the day. And so I would say that having another child is it's a great blessing. We're very happy to have our son, uh, but it is also very challenging. And I cannot emphasize enough the word very.
Very challenging.
It is very challenging, uh, but it is doable. I would say it is doable. It is manageable if you have a good support system. Um, and I would not recommend it for single parents because the my wife, who is at home all day, has her hands entirely full. Um, and without someone to help out during certain hours of the day, she would not be able to function or survive. Um, because, as you know, a short bowel child consumes pretty much your whole day with medication, giving medications and cleaning up dirty diapers and vomit and hospital runs and everything else. It's very time consuming, very mentally um, consuming, wears you down. Um, and then just trying to do, your own personal care, eating meals and uh, other things.
Yeah,
It just you just
it,
don't have time.
it's
And then with the new child, babies, it cries a lot. It also needs to be fed. Also needs its own
especially
personal
the
time,
first few
attention.
months of his life. I mean, babies are always eating every 2 hours, every 3 hours, so you hardly have any sleep. Also, and it's just tough, tough, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So it is very hard, but it is doable. Like I said, we have the help of a nursing agency that helps out in the daytime. Without them, I don't think this would be possible. They help quite a bit in taking care of our daughter during the day,
And most
and
nights.
so that allows my wife to spend more time with our newborn, um, take care of his needs, being fed and diapers changed, and um, just to personal attention that he needs. However, she still has a lot of oversight of what the nurses and caregivers do during the day, and make
Right.
sure that she has to keep a close eye on the care that is being given to our daughter to make sure that everything's done properly, and
Mm-hmm.
she stays on her schedules, and um, just stays out of trouble and gets all the attention that she needs as well. So it is very time consuming, and she also has to make runs to school for our 8-year-old and make our clinic appointments once a week, once a week or every 2 weeks or however
Every
often it's
two
done.
weeks and labs and
So what I
yeah.
do as the husband to help out, whenever I get home from work at the end of the day, of course by that time most of the work with my daughter has been taken care of, but I help out immediately when I get home, with getting her ready for bed, getting her connected to her TPN, um, just whatever I can do at that point. I don't eat dinner or anything until I've made sure that our daughter's been taken care of first in those ways. We do a cap change twice a week. I usually assist with that in the evenings after I get home from work before we put her to bed. When we're getting her dressing, her when we're connecting her TPN. Um, I help out on the weekends a lot more because I'm home on the weekends. So I oftentimes get her up in the morning, get her dressed, um, bring her downstairs, and connect her to her little cart that we made for her to pull her TPN around,
Mm-hmm.
so we don't have to be follow her everywhere she goes all day long. Um, so I'll help get her connected to that. I disconnect her TPN when it's finished. Uh, Give a lot of the medications and diaper changes and just normal routine stuff. My wife also takes part, but I'm a lot more involved in it on the weekends than during the week because I'm here. Whenever she has clinic, I always go to the clinic appointments. Fortunately, I have enough flexibility in my job that I'm able to go to all the clinic appointments with our daughter, and that makes it much more manageable with the newborn because my wife usually pushes around the newborn. I push around our daughter, or at least make sure that she's um, taken care of. And she's big enough now that she can walk some of the distance herself and prefers to do that sometimes. What else do I do? We we don't have full coverage at night currently with our nurses, so oftentimes I'll get up at night and administer some of the medications, do the diaper changes, check her TPN, and
Ostomy.
change her milk uh, bags, make sure that her
Mm-hmm.
milk is running overnight, and just do all the overnight stuff that the nurses would normally do. Um, so I do that a few times during the week. Sometimes we take we
We take
do
turns,
shifts at night.
right?
Sometimes we just take turns. Like I'll do it one night, she'll do it the next night. Sometimes
Or half the
we
night.
rotate.
Yeah. So
But basically, I try to help as much as I can during the hours that I'm at home. Not just with things directly related to her, but also things around the house. Because I understand that my wife doesn't have time to do all the other uh, domestic chores that a stay-at-home mom might otherwise have time to do. So um, I'll oftentimes wash the dishes
cook
at the end of the day.
sometimes. Or,
Sometimes I'll cook,
yeah. So that I mean, you definitely need
vacuum, wash the clothes,
extra support.
whatever needs to be done. I'm always looking to see what needs
Mhm.
to be done and in what ways I can help my wife, because I don't expect her to do everything. I think that would be unreasonable to have an expectation that a wife stays at home and takes care of a newborn child and a sick child, and also cooks and washes dishes and washes clothes and all those other things. I don't
Yeah,
think that's humanly possible.
it's not. It's not possible.
So we help each other out quite a bit, and with the assistance of our nursing agency as well, it is manageable. I think I think we are doing a pretty decent job. It is manageable, and I think it's worth it. It's a very high price to pay but it is nice to have a third child. Our son is a very happy little boy. He smiles a lot, especially after he's been fed. He enjoys being fed a lot.
Yeah, he likes that.
And
Uh,
we're looking forward to when he
yeah,
gets a little bigger and is able to do a few more things on his own.
right.
It takes a lot out of us. I mean, honestly, we probably don't sleep more than 4 hours a night
Yeah, well,
at
I've
the
been
most.
sleeping like 2 hours.
Yeah, each of us.
Uh,
Um,
like, yeah, I don't even know how we function, to be
yeah,
honest.
I get by on about 4 or 5 hours of sleep each
Uh,
night.
yeah.
On a good night. On a bad night, it might be 2 or 3 hours.
Hmm.
So it's not easy, but it is doable. And I believe things will get better as our children grow older and become a little more independent with some of their things that they do.
Hmm.
And as our newborn is able to start sleeping through the night a little bit better, he currently goes about 3 or 4 hours at a time,
Yeah, which before it
during
used
the
to
middle of
be
the
like 2 hours only, every 2 hours. But now he's going a little bit longer, 3 to 4 hours, which is a lot better. But yeah, I can't wait until he sleeps through the whole night. That'll be so much better.
night.
Um, but anyway, at the end of the day, I mean, it is challenging. It's, just make sure you have a good support system if you're really thinking of.
If you're thinking about having another kid, think about it a lot and make sure it's what you want to do.
Hmm.
If you really want it, it can be done.
Right. Yeah. But just know how it's gonna be. I mean, we just recently had our first impatient experience with our daughter, because that was one of the things that I was like, how are we gonna do it when you know our daughter needs to go to the hospital, and every time she goes to the hospital she has to stay overnight for sure, for at least 3 days or more. um, so I'm like, how I can't stay like I used to with her because I have a newborn baby, and and then I also have my older son. How are we gonna do it? That was the big question mark. Like, but thankfully, my husband has a job that is able to take some days off, and you know that time that happened, he was able to stay
I
and
stayed at the hospital for 3 days, took 2 days off work.
right.
Um,
But without him, I would have been able to do that. You see, like, yeah,
Siblings are not allowed
siblings
to
are not
stay
allowed,
overnight.
exactly, especially a newborn. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, so I mean, really think about it very well. Think all the pros and cons, and how you're gonna be able to do everything. Because yeah, I mean, shortcut kid will always. The hospital is their second home, unfortunately. Right? So yeah, but it can be done. So far, I think we have managed very well. Again, with a good support system that we have with our nurses and caregivers. Um, Without them, I don't think we would have been able to come this far. We do have some family around the area, but they're always busy. They're working. They have their own lives. I mean, sometimes they come and,
We don't get much support from them here.
but it's yeah,
My family lives like 1,200 miles away.
yeah, and that also, yeah. So yeah, so far we're surviving, and we're doing a pretty good job, I think. But it's tough. But like my husband is saying, it's also at the same time very rewarding just seeing our kids, being happy and playing together. And I mean, gosh, our daughter loves our newborn son, the new baby, and she's all fascinated by a tiny little baby, they just get along so well, so far, and we're just happy to see that. And we're we feel very blessed and thankful that to have this opportunity, although it's tough. But But anyway, that's our experience. Hopefully, it will help somebody out there that is considering on adding more kids to their family. And yeah, if you want to share your experience, go ahead, and we would love to hear how how you done it. we we sure like to hear some tips or so. So anyway, that's that's it for today. All right.